Post facto to the outside. And they're off. Perfect beginning. Seismic Spirit and Please Focus just in front. Seismic Spirit taking a hold of a half length back in second. Then it's Post Facto. Crypto Ride is moving up in between horses. Zio Joe at the rail. Polyak is 5 lengths off the leader, and that leader is Please Focus, who sets the pace and leads it by just under a length. Seismic Spirit now a length and a half off and make it 2. Followed by Zio Joe and Post Facto right together, as are Polyak and Crypto Ride. Mario Gutierrez and Please Focus showing the way a length and a half. Seismic Spirit is content in second. It's 2 more back to Post Facto. At the rails, Zio Joe. Those 2 right together and 3.5 off the lead, followed by Polyak and Crypto Ride. Continuing toward the far turn. And Please Focus has been there throughout. Leads at a length and a half still over Seismic Spirit, Zio Joe and Post Facto. Polyak, Crypto Ride. No change in the running order. Please Focus remains the target. Seismic Spirit now testing him, coming to the quarter pole. 2.5 to Post Facto. Zio Joe has hugged the rail throughout. Crypto Ride very wide. They're at the top of the stretch. And Please Focus trying to fend off this bid from Seismic Spirit. Zio Joe trying to get inside his stablemate, and he's got plenty of room to do so. And here's Zio Joe coming to the front. And Zio Joe full of run will take care of business in the opener by 2.5 easy lengths. 3-way photo for second goes to Seismic Spirit. Then it's very close between Polyak and Post Facto. Coming soon, Joan Jett, April. The favorite, We're Gonna Have a Good Time, is in. Here's Divine Rascal to the outside. All in. And they're off. Divine Rascal, We're Gonna Have a Good Time. The first 2 out. Brace for Impact is in between them, followed by Can't Beat the Rock. The distant early trailer is Big Splash. It's Divine Rascal just in front. We're Gonna Have a Good Time comes through to match stride second. Brace for Impact ridden along in third, followed by Can't Beat the Rock fourth and 3 off the lead. A gap of almost 10 to Big Splash into the far turn. It's Divine Rascal back in front, 3/4. Now it's a full length. At the rail, We're Gonna Have a Good Time trying to come back second. Brace for Impact third. Can't Beat the Rock 3 off the pace in fourth. 4 more back to Big Splash. They're at the quarter pole. Divine Rascal, We're Gonna Have a Good Time. Joined widest by Brace for Impact. And Can't Beat the Rock finds a seam. 1 from the rail. 4 of them vying for it. Can't Beat the Rock's had a good trip. Comes after We're Gonna Have a Good Time. Here's Brace for Impact on the outside. Can't Beat the Rock. Brace for Impact. These are the 2 to decide it. Can't Beat the Rock just in front. And Can't Beat the Rock scores. Brace for Impact second, very close. Either Big Splash or We're Gonna Have a Good Time for third. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Pasadena. Smooth start. Game Time gets the early lead. Wizard of Westwood matching strides with him. And Wizard of Westwood is a little bit quicker and will be the pace setter. Game Time is second. 2.5 more to heavily favored Johannes in third. And then Keen to Go is down on the inside. It will be Wizard of Westwood opening up a length and a half. Keen to Go is just that along the inside of Game Time. Game Time in second. And Johannes is at the back of a compact field. 3 lengths covers them. They swing onto the backstretch, and it's Wizard of Westwood. Prompted by Game Time, was just a neck behind second. It's 3 more lengths. Johannes, a joint third, outside Keen to Go. Half mile to go. Wizard of Westwood. Going along at a sensible clip. Game Time now a full length behind in second. 2 more to Johannes and Keen to go. They're starting to sprint now. Wizard of Westwood by a head. Game Time applying pressure second. Johannes coming after them. He'll make a 3-wide bid, has a length and a half to make up on the new leader. Game Time, a quarter of a mile to go. Game Time in front. Johannes in the center of the course, unleashed now under extremely confident handling, and he breezes to the front. How promising is he? Johannes streaking through the stretch, ultra impressive, handling the 2 turns beautifully. The sky is the limit for Johannes, romping in the Pasadena. Game Time, Wizard of Westwood, and Keen to go. Going in. And they're off. Mr. T's Thirsty is out alertly. Holiday Arousal is up to take the lead. Susie Q's brother comes away in third. Then it's Foothill. And Star Prospect, very eager, wasn't off quickly and is now pretty eager to get into it, is about 3 lengths off the pace as they round the first turn. It's Holiday Arousal who will be the pace setter. Mr. T's Thirsty in the lime green colors moves up to take second with 6 furlongs to run. Down at the rails, Susie Q's brother is in third. Foothill in the orange and purple, and Star Prospect now gets some breathing room, goes to the outside to engage Holiday Arousal as they straighten up for the run down the backstretch. They have 5 furlongs to run, and it is Holiday Arousal showing the way. Star Prospect moves into second. Susie Q's brother is down at the rail with a half-mile left to go. Mr. T's Thirsty racing in between those two, and Foothill is at the back of the field. Into the far turn, Holiday Arousal has been there every step of the way. Star Prospect within a half length. Foothill makes a 3-wide bid after them with the orange cap. At the rails, Susie Q's brother is fourth, 2 lengths off the lead, and Mr. T's Thirsty no more than 3 lengths front to back. Holiday Arousal with a quarter of a mile to go, trying to fend off a host of pursuers. Foothill on the outside is coming after him, and in between Star Prospect, Susie Q's brother, even Mr. T's Thirsty only 3 lengths off the lead with a furlong left to go. Holiday Arousal holding on. Foothill is moving into second. Mr. T's Thirsty gathering serious momentum in the center of the track. Holiday Arousal 2.5 length lead, and it will be Holiday Arousal coast to coast. Mr. T's Thirsty was second. Foothill finished third. They're in the gate. And they're off. Admiral Halsey came out well. So did Lasmu in the center of the course, now headed by Saikon. And Saikon will be the leader. Has it by about a half length as Devil Moon comes through on the inside second. Azov C is up close. Lasmu is fourth. Then comes Admiral Halsey, fifth, 4 lengths off the lead, moving up willingly. Chicago Soldier is next, followed by Greenbow and Stop in a Tray. Devil Moon loose into the far turn. Has it by 2 to Saikon second. It's 2.5 more. Last Mew inside Azov C. That pair followed by Admiral Halsey on hold at this stage. Nowhere to go in the turquoise colors. Racing on the inside of Chicago Soldier. 2 clear of Greenbow and Stop in a Tray. Less than a quarter to go, and Devil Moon is the leader. Saikon coming back for more in second. Admiral Halsey now gets into the clear and starts to motor home with a furlong left to go. Devil Moon with a 4-length advantage. Greenbow is coming alive with a big run. And here's Greenbow, dead aim, about to blow on by. Greenbow, that's 2 for Umberto Rispoli, will win convincingly. Devil Moon second, Admiral Halsey third, and then it was a battle for fourth between a closing Stop in a Tray, Saikon and Lasmu. Super High Five carries over more than $3,300. Late pick. Beachgrass to the outside. And they're off. Bella Ranella quick away from there. Opens up a length and a couple of jumps. Talkative Gal, Vegan in between them. Now Vegan is up to take the lead. Talkative Gal moves up to be second. Bella Ranella gets a good tracking position from third. And then Beachgrass at the back of the field. Past the 5/8 they go. And it is Vegan, the leader by almost a length to Talkative Gal in second, with Bella Ranella to the outside under a stronghold third, 7 clear of Beachgrass. Moving in toward the 3/8, Vegan in front by 2. Bella Ranella takes second, Talkative Gal third, 4 back to Beachgrass. They're past the 5/16, and it's Vegan in front, a half a length. Bella Ranella moving in. 2 more back to Talkative Gal and Beachgrass, a quarter of a mile to go. And it is Vegan, Bella Ranella on the outside up to take the lead, coming to the 8th pole. At the rail, Vegan is fighting on, but it is Bella Ranella with the upper hand coming to the 16th. And Bella Ranella by a length and a half make it 2 and turn the lights out for Bella Ranella. Bella Ranella, prompt favorite by 2 lengths. Vegan second, Talkative Gal third, Beachgrass fourth. They're in the gate. Exalted Fidgety. Now Irideo. And they're off. Perfect start. Bob and Jackie right to the front. Exalted. Earl's Rock is close up. De Jour fourth, 3 lengths off the moderate early tempo. They seem to be going slowly by us. Then it's Vanzi. And Irideo is at the back of the field. Exalted joins Bob and Jackie into the first turn. It's Bob and Jackie at the rail. Exalted goes a bit wide. Earl's Rock even wider. He's a bit tough to handle. And De Jour just outside of him. Another 2 back to Vanzi in 5th, 4 lengths off the lead, and 3 clear of Irideo. Onto the backstretch, Jose Valdivia Jr. and Bob and Jackie showing the way. In front by a half length, Exalted keeping him honest in second. Earl's Rock tucked in with De Jour right up alongside, 3 lengths off the pace with a half mile to go in the American. Vanzi is 5th, 4.5 off the lead, 2 clear of Irideo. It's the speedy Bob and Jackie controlling the pace on the front end. Has it by a length now over Exalted second. Earl's Rock, De Jour racing together as one. 2 more back to Vanzi, trying to gain some momentum outside of that pair. And Irideo has trailed throughout. Bob and Jackie Exalted, head and head at the top of the stretch. Earl's Rock, white blinkers, angles out with De Jour in the center. They're a furlong from the finish, and now De Jour is kicking in alongside Earl's Rock as Exalted takes the lead. Exalted in front. De Jour, Irideo is storming home. It's Exalted in front, has to hold off Irideo, and Exalted. He is a turf beast. Irideo rallies for second. Then it's a photo among Earl's Rock, De Jour, and Bob and Jackie. Starts the Golden Hour Pick 4, linking the last 2 races from Santa Anita Park with the last 2 from Golden Gate Field. Post time on the board in 24 minutes. They're in the gate. And they're off. Very even beginning. Classical Romance, Mongolian Panther, Ole Silver on the outside is the gray, vying for the lead, and Everly's Girl comes through on the fence. Everly's Girl quickest of all as they move into the first turn. Mongolian Panther is right up alongside, and now Mongolian Panther's in front. Ole Silver will track from third, and then Classical Romance down on the rail in fourth. Charlotte Harbor in the green is 3 lengths off the lead, 2 in front of Whistler's Style, and My Favorite Daughter at the back of the field. They have 5 furlongs to run, and Mongolian Panther is the boss. Leads it by a length and a half. Ole Silver in second, followed by Everly's Girl, Charlotte Harbor, Classical Romance, My Favorite Daughter inches up widest of all, and Whistler's Style in the red is 5 lengths off the pace. Mongolian Panther, 3/8 from home. Ole Silver trying to apply some pressure in second. A length and a half to Charlotte Harbor taking third. Then Everly's Girl. My Favorite Daughter is fifth, about 4 lengths off the lead. 2 in front of Classical Romance and Whistler's Style. Ole Silver at the quarter pole now puts her head in front. Mongolian Panther will try to battle back. 2.5 more to Charlotte Harbor in third. They're an eighth of a mile from home. Ole Silver at the rail. Mongolian Panther just ahead behind. Ole Silver's in front, though, at the 16th pole. And it's Ole Silver by about a half length. And now she puts her away late. Ole Silver and Armando Aguilar to score by 2. Mongolian Panther was second. Charlotte Harbor third. Then Classical Romance. Gate. All set. And they're off. Beautiful start for Lucky for You in the center of the course, up to take the lead. My gals Dawn and Lori comes away in second, followed by Sariha, who's not far behind in the opening stages, joined by Soul of a Warrior in between rivals. Into the first turn, and there's some serious issues there with my gals Dawn and Lori, who almost clipped heels, but has calmed down now. It's Lucky for You past the 6 furlong pole, the clear-cut leader. My gals Dawn and Lori is in second, followed by Soul of a Warrior third, Sariha next on the outside of Cruising the Channel. A gap of 4 to Luminiferous, who's another 4 or 5 clear of 3 strands. Marina's Tina is next. The 2 trailers are Happy, who's 3 lengths in front of Princess of Time. You can't get much more strung out than this. Long way from front to back behind Lucky for You and Juan Hernandez, leading it by 3. My gals Dawn and Lori in second. Sariha inches up along the inside third. Now Luminiferous starts to pick up some momentum, grabbing fourth in front of Soul of a Warrior fifth. 7 lengths off the lead. Another 4 lengths back to Marina's Tina and 3 strands. Lucky for You turns for home in front by 2. Sariha angles out to try and get her in second, but Lucky for You still has something left. Luminiferous continues that rally, moving up on the outside to take second behind Lucky for You. And Lucky for You has dominated. Lucky for You, never in doubt, strolls in to score by 4. Second to Luminiferous. Then it was Marina's Tina in third, followed by Sariha. And then the photo for fifth is between an oncoming Happy and my gals Dawn and Lori.
Welcome to the Run Happy San Diego Derby weekend. We've got 32 races over the next 53 hours, and if that's not enough to keep you busy, we've also got a mandatory pad in the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 tomorrow. But is there going to be a carryover tomorrow? Some might think that maybe there could be the possibility of an only ticket. We'll find out by about 5 o'clock Pacific time today. But our guest today is not only a horse player, but he's also an owner and a breeder. He's got a first-time starter running on today's card in the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6 at a big price. We'll find out if she's got any ability. We already know that he has plenty of handicapping ability. His name, Ken Shaw. Kenny, good Friday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thanks, TQ. Glad to be here.
You got your Easter shirt on, so you're in the spirit. I know you'll be here handicapping all 32 races that I mentioned, but first things first, what got you into horse ownership? I know that you were a horse player and you've been in horse ownership for quite some time, but why the transition over to being a horse owner?
You know, it's one of those things growing up in the business or, around the business, going to the track a lot. It was always one of those, boy, someday I'd like to own a horse. And a good friend of mine, Dave Hilton, and one of the guys he was working with at the time was in some horse ownership with Gerson Racing of all
sure,
people.
Sean. We remember him
Sean
from Singletary days.
Yep, from a long time ago with Pete Miller as a trainer. So they had a couple good years, and they convinced us to buy into the partnership, and that's how I got in. And we had a lot of success that first year. Horse named Back Gone won a bunch of races, and the whole stable did well. So I stayed in for a couple years, got out, then got back in with Makowski as the trainer. And
Machowski, it's like a little riddle, all you guys with the ownership groups.
Exactly. Or Marchowski, who's in the horse with us. And ever since then, I've been in it. And so diversified. And then the last few years have started breeding a little bit as well. And that's pretty exciting.
David Hilton, any relation to Paris Hilton by chance?
Long lost cousins.
Really?
No.
Okay. Now, when you transitioned over to the horse ownership side, Kenny, did you learn a lot more in terms of augmenting and complementing your handicapping? Did you learn things on the backside? Horse maybe swallowed a tongue, threw a shoe, things that you don't see in the racing form that maybe helped you as a handicapper?
Oh, absolutely. So there's a few things that, I think when you get into ownership, especially if you're involved in the front end of the process of either deciding how to breed and or if you want to go to the sales, you get a lot more into pedigrees. Right. As a handicapper, I would look at pedigrees, but as I got into ownership, pedigrees became a little bit more prevalent as I looked through it in the crosses and, turf, dirt, short, long, and all those types of things. And so that helped. And then you also realize when you spend a lot of time on the backside, there's a whole bunch of information that's not in the Bible. And
give us one or two examples, maybe some of your favorites.
Well, I'll give you one from a few weeks ago. We were in Las Vegas for the basketball tournament.
And the NHC.
And so we were at Mandalay Bay playing the horses and watching basketball. Shout out to Mike Peranio at Mandalay. Does a great job taking care of the horse players.
And he loves Santa Anita.
And so one of the guys I was with, we're looking at the races and race at fairgrounds, and it was a maiden special weight. A lot of horses never ran before. So he contacts somebody, one of the trainers of the race, and said, yeah, I'm live, but this other horse I think is really live. And the horse was 12-1.
Obscure breeding,
a trainer that doesn't win first out almost ever. And so we're kind of scratching our heads saying, all right, well, if this trainer says that and he's a pretty good guy, we got to pay attention. And so as the race is getting closer, we make some calls to, the assistant trainers and all the networks, and everybody's saying, yeah, this horse can run a little bit. First click of the board, the horse goes to 20-1.
Wow.
And now we're really scratching our heads.
Of course.
24.
You were expecting to see 6-1.
Yeah. 24-1 going in the gate, leaves the gate at 45-1 and wins, pays $93. So that makes for a good weekend.
You had it, obviously.
Yes. Not as much as the other two guys had it, but did very, very well. So those things happen, and they still happen to this day.
And the flip side happens as well. Sometimes it doesn't pay to be so well connected because you get bad information. It's not necessarily anybody trying to supply you bad information, but sometimes you lose just as much as what you just described winning.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you look at the workout reports, right? You read the workout reports, and one workout report will say this horse is a monster, and the other one says he was tiring down the lane and being whipped and hard urged.
Same workout, two different opinions.
Same workout. Then you got to go look at the video if you care that much. And then, the people that are always running around touting horses at the track, right? So you got to look at it from all angles. And then at the end of the day, use your gut.
Well, you looked at it at all angles in Las Vegas, as you mentioned, Kenny. It was the National Handicapping Championship. It was your maiden voyage there. You participated in a tournament where first place was $750,000. We were back here at Santa Anita monitoring the results on a day-to-day and even a race-to-race basis. Lo and behold, you made a really big, impressive, and deep run in the tournament. You were knocking on the door. You were seeing the ball really clear for those 3 days.
Yeah, first day I struggled, and I won't say I was overwhelmed, but I was my first attempt at it. And so I was trying to figure out the strategy, right? And
the game theory,
right? And, was I betting too many long shots, too many favorites? What are you doing with your optional races?
A lot of people are chirping there as well, right? A lot of distractions.
A lot of distractions. So good news is I was sitting with Jeff kind of over in the Santa Anita table. So it was a little bit quieter than some of the other places. And I really struggled. And I also blame Nate Newby because
we blame Nate for everything. Let's face it.
The night before, Nate wanted to go to dinner, go play the horses. So I didn't do a lot of.
Well, he didn't have to play in the tournament.
Right.
He didn't care. All he has to do is run Santa Anita.
Right. So and he's flying home the next morning.
Yeah.
So I
didn't
get much handicapping in that night, and then we end up at the blackjack table. So
did you guys win there?
I broke dead even, and Nate was on a heater when I went to bed.
Wow. So he was still going strong.
So I don't know how he ended up. I forgot to ask. So the first day, I wasn't on my game. Second day, to your point, I got on a heater, and the mandatory races, I think I hit the first 3 or 4 or 5 of them in a row, hit a couple optionals, and actually made all the way up to 9th. And then kind of digressed.
How did you feel at that point when you got to 9th? You had about 570 people in your rearview mirror. Everybody wanted to be where you were at. Did the pressure kind of get to you? Did you not think about it? Like, what was your mindset at that specific point when you were in 9th?
My mindset going in was it would be really good to be competitive and make the final day, right? So you get paid.
Top 10%.
Top 10%. And if I do better than that, that's gravy. So when I got up to 9th or, on that run, it was pretty clear I was going to probably make it. And so that pressure was off. And then it was a matter of, okay, what do I need to do to try to make the final, get ready to make the final table? And I missed a couple horses and some people hit them. And next thing you know, finished the day, I think, about mid-teens, late teens. So all of a sudden going into Sunday, you're playing catch up. And that kind of messes with your head, right? As opposed to, no, I'm going to bet horses to win.
You can't play the horses you like. You have to play the horses that you need.
Right. And so I told this to some people that asked me, my experience. I think it's as much a math problem as it is a handicapping contest. And I think sometimes we get too wound up about, I got to hit the 10-1 horse versus sometimes the 5-2 horse is pretty good. Right. And you start thinking about how you need to qualify. If you can hit 2-1 horses, you're going to make the last day.
Kenny might have broke even on the blackjack table, but he pocketed a lot of money at the NHC. We're going to find out who he likes on today's outstanding 9-race card on Run Happy Santa Anita Derby weekend. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, where the track is fast, the turf is firm, and the rail on the firm turf is out 20 feet for today's action. Here are the changes. In the first, the start of the early pick 5, scratch number 4, Baby Kristen. In race 2, scratch number 5, Riverside, and with that scratch, no high 5 wagering. Third race has a program scratch of 1, Midnight Vow. Race 3, take out the 1. In the fourth, start of the Rainbow 6, 362,000 in the carryover. No high 5 wagering, scratch 2, Love You, Mean It. In the fifth, number 8, Spicy Bug, 2 over. 9, Irish Rose, 2 pounds over. In the 6th, scratch number 1, Silent Sunday. Number 7, Lampy, 2 pounds over. 7th race, number 7, Isabel Ludlow, 2 pounds over. 9, Big Update, 2 over. Scratch number 11, C minus. 8th race begins the golden hour pick 4. We had a record pool last week, no changes. 9th scratch 3, Anita New Mercedes, and the program scratch of 5, Catalina Eddy. Golden hour double starts with the finale. Tomorrow's Run Happy Santa Anita Derby Day, early post of 12 noon. We'll also have the Coast to Coast Pick 5s and a mandatory payout in our Rainbow 6 tomorrow. Mandatory payout tomorrow in the Rainbow 6 with that pool expected to get near $3 million. You can still hit a single ticket today on races 4 through 9. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. Tom's special guest is Ken Shaw.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Ken Shaw. He's an owner, breeder, and horse player. Had a big run at the National Handicapping Championship last month in Las Vegas, Nevada. He also has a runner on today's card, a first-time starter, which we'll get to. Kenny, you and I are degenerates, so not only are we going to play the Santa Anita card today, but there's a big night of racing in Australia at Royal Randwick. It's championship night, and of course, you can watch it through your favorite ADW. The reason why I bring that up is in your corporate life, you traveled basically all around the world, spent a lot of time in Australia. You went to a lot of racetracks there as well. For those of us not as fortunate as you, including myself, what was it like going to the horses in Australia?
It's interesting because I had the opportunity to actually live in Australia for a couple of years for work, and what you find is it is a significant social event. And if you ever get the opportunity to go down to Australia, I would encourage you to go late October, early November, and go to the racing carnival, spring carnival at Melbourne. And that's when the Melbourne Cup happens on the Tuesday. And when they talk about a race that stops the nation, it literally stops the nation. So in the state of Victoria, where Melbourne is, it is actually a state holiday. So everybody has the day off, and you go, and it is the world's greatest party. Everybody dresses up. Everybody's there to have fun. You get hundreds of thousands of people, and the atmosphere is electric. And even at the small tracks, as you go around the country, people are there generally to have fun. I forgot the specific statistic, but it's a significant number of people in Australia that actually own a racehorse. It's a large number, and it's mostly through partnerships, syndicates, and they all own a little piece, and it is part of their national pastime. They love the horses, they love sports, and they love the wager. So it's a lot of fun, and they have bands playing, everybody's out dancing. At the Melbourne Cup, actually the 2 days before the Cup on Derby Day, Ernie Marchowski, who co-owns the horse later in the day with me, we were there, and we actually tailgated.
Imagine that, Ernie tailgating.
Yeah,
stuns me.
Out of the quote, the boot of a Rolls Royce, meaning the trunk of a Rolls Royce in the members' parking lot. I mean, that tells you the type of, with a chef, right? I mean, because we just happen to get invited, friends of friends of friends, and that's the environment you have. And then you also have the other thing that's a little bit different. You have fixed odds versus you can play tote or fixed. And then the other part is you have bookies that are legal. So when you're making a wager, you have many, many different ways of deciding how to play the race between, betting live odds, betting fixed odds, betting with the bookie, betting with the house. It creates a lot of fun and a lot of complexity.
Well, we're going to have a lot of fun over the next 24 minutes. That's because we're going to put you the handicapping test, Ken, and find out who you like on today's 9-race card. So let's kick things off here in race number 1, which begins the 50-cent early pick 5. We're sprinting 5.5 furlongs in the turf course. This race is a starter allowance for fillies and mares, started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less since January 1st, 2021. We've got a field of 7 after the scratch of number 4, Baby Kristen, the morning line favorite, and the current betting choice at 3 to 5 is number 6, Angel Sense. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Kenny, I want to show the replay that both Angel Sense and Ready Jet Go exit. It was back on March 12th. It was the 3rd race. Ironically, Angel Sense in this replay we're about to watch also breaks from post position number 6. You'll see she's got a lot of early speed, and with the defection of Baby Kristen, that might allow her to go gate to wire, though she's going to have to deal with the rail filly in this race, number 1, Ann Opal. But let's listen to Frank Miramonte describe the action back on Angel Sense last run, which turned into a victory on March 12th.
And they're off. Fast start for Angel Sense. Baby Kristen up alongside. Ready, Jet, Go. Teen Drama is one from the rail, about 3 lengths off the lead. Then Keep Your Coil, Majestic Gigi, a gap of 3. Kawara and Bowl of Cherries at the back of the field. Baby Kristen, Angel Sense setting a lively tempo with Majestic Gigi 2.5 off them in third. At the rail, Teen Drama, followed by Keep Your Coil fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. 2 more to Ready, Get, Go, followed by Kawara second to last, and Bowl of Cherries at the back of the field. They pass the quarter pole with Angel Sense to catch. Turns for home with those white blinkers, widening now to lead by 3. Baby Kristen couldn't keep pace in second. Ready, Jet, Go is finishing well on the outside of Teen Drama. A 16th to go, and Angel Sense with a commanding 4-length lead, and it will be Angel Sense and Kyle Frey. Frey just wraps up. They win by 3.5. Ready, Jet.
Kenny, Angel Sense carved out the early fractions. They're under pressure, 21.3, 44.3. Basically went gate to wire. As I mentioned, Baby Kristen scratching certainly doesn't help the chances of Ready, Jet, Go, but you still give a punter's chance to Ready, Jet, Go.
Yeah, because I think, Aunt Opal's going to go.
Yep.
And, when I first handicapped before the scratches were out, I thought Aunt Opal and Baby Kristen would, box her in and make a run a little bit. And with the scratch of Baby Kristen. And I also think that Ready, Jet, Go is going to be a little bit closer in this race, knowing they're going to have to be. And the other part is getting that extra half a furlong. And so I still think, Ready, Jet, Go, if the rail horse can get out a little bit and put a little bit of pressure on the favorite, might have a fighting chance here and might be able to get decent odds.
8 and 6 in race number 1. If you have the past performances in front of you, you can see the last 2 times that Ready, Jet, Go has run, she's broken from the inside post. Today she draws the outside post, which, as Kenny alluded to, might work to her advantage. And also, if you like Angel Sense, here's another statistic that you don't see in the racing form. This same starter allowance at the same distance was run for the boys also on March 12th. And this division, or I should say the filly and mare division that Angel Sense won, was 0.26 seconds faster than the boys. That's certainly unusual, but it shows you how dynamic Angel Sense ran last time. Doesn't mean that she's going to run the same race today. Let's turn the page, Kenny. Take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This race is on the main track, 1 mile the distance. Maiden optional claimers. We've got a field of 6 after the scratch of number 5, Riverside. Doug O'Neill trains 3 of the 6, including the morning line favorite, number 4, Looks Rare, who's 2-1 on John White's morning line. Again, before we get your thoughts on the race, Kenny, want to show a workout of a team drill of 2 of the runners from the Doug O'Neill barn. It was back on April 1st. It was a gate drill. Golden Sombrero and Muccino, who are both running in race number 2, worked on the same day at the same distance, basically together with each other. Let's watch that. Let's roll that workout. And as we do, we'll see that Golden Sombrero breaks from the outside. Muccino's going to be inside here in the gate drill. And what you'll see, Kenny, as you watch the workout, and I'm assuming you watch this as well, is Golden Sombrero basically gets the better of Muccino for most of this workout. Again, Muccino's down on the inside. Golden Sombrero is on the outside, but you can see the carnival wheel there too, which is pretty funny as they run through on the backside. This was just a few days ago, but Golden Sombrero, you can see, really doesn't get asked much in this entire workout. But the interesting part for me is Muccino, once we get past the finish line, actually gallops out in front. So it's a bit of a puzzling workout, because if the race was 6 furlongs, I think most handicappers would say, well, look, Golden Sombrero is a better horse than Muccino, but Muccino on the gallop out is actually going to be in front of Golden Sombrero, which raises the question, maybe this mile distance shipping in from Turfway Park in Muccino's case will actually work in his favor. As we continue to watch the workout, Kenny, what did you like about Muccino, either in this workout or maybe in the efforts at Turfway Park?
Yeah, great question. And I think part of why I was willing to take a little bit of a chance on Muccino is a lot of people believe the track at Turfway is a very tiring track, and it really builds up a lot of stamina in horses.
And as we can see here, sure looks like on the finish line here, Golden Sombrero gets much the best of Muccino, as I've been describing. But now in the gallop out, the question becomes, okay, how much is the exercise rider trying on Golden Sombrero? But on the gallop out, Muccino's exercise rider is kind of standing up in the saddle as well. But you can see easily goes by Golden Sombrero. So that's why it's kind of a mixed workout to kind of evaluate, because there's so many things going on, particularly as it relates to today's distance.
Yeah, and I was willing to take a little bit of a shot with, Nyquist. Sometimes these horses, they get back on the dirt, they're getting pushed early, probably aren't used to that level of speed coming back into California. So I think the horse is going to get a good trip. It's a very competitive race. And, with with a scratch, you can make an argument for most of the horses in this race, with maybe the exception of one. And so it's really just a matter of kind of, like I said earlier, about handicapping and taking all the information, and then it's just trusting your gut and saying, you know what, let's take a shot on Muccino.
And Muccino, if you go back to October 10th, take a look at that running line. Look who was in that race. Fort Bragg and Practical Move. Those horses would be 1-9 in this particular field. Now, granted, Muccino finished 5th, beaten by 5 lengths, but it was the first time going 2 turns on the main track. And as you mentioned, Kenny, I think the angle of Turfway Park being a deeper track, he might appreciate the return back to Southern California and the more glib surface.
Yeah, and I'd expect the track here today to be a little bit fast, getting ready for, the big weekend. And, George's horse, the 2-horse Excel Calculator, is going to be tough without a doubt, and the other O'Neills are going to be tough. So we'll see how it goes, but got to take a stand.
Let's take a look at race number 3, see if we can take a stand. We're sprinting again, 6 furlongs on the turf course. This is a starter allowance race for fillies and mares. We've got a field of 5 after the program scratch of number 1. Morning line favorite on a 2-race win streak after adding blinkers is number 6, Albayadir from the Jeff Mullins barn, 7-5 on John White's morning line. Good post in sharp form. Single in the pick 5?
Absolutely. Not even a question. It's a single for me. Mullins has been training great. You get Rispoli back. The horse gets the great post, lots of speed inside. You'd expect Rispoli just to play off everybody else and run late, and should win for fun.
And Albayadir, you can see last time out in victory on February 19th, beat a filly by the name of She's Got Away. You can see her name is italicized. That's because it means she came back to emerge victorious out of that race. She earned an 81 Beyer speed figure, certainly flattering the 78 that Albayadir earned on February 19th. Perhaps she's got another improvement in her. As I mentioned, now this in her 3rd start after adding blinkers. Race number 4 begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6, as mentioned at the top of the show. Mandatory payout tomorrow. Everything must go, but first things first. The jackpot single ticket carrier, we're now at $362,000. A couple ways you can look at this sequence. You can kind of look at it as maybe being a slam dunk, or if the slam dunk runners don't win, is there a possibility of an only ticket? I tend to choose the latter theory potentially, and we kick things off here, sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track for Calbred, fillies and mares. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. Scratch the 2, Love You Mean It, who will run back tomorrow, leaves us with a field of 6. Number 3, Doris May from the Carla Gaines barn is the 9-5 morning line favorite. Talk to us about race 4, Kenny.
Yeah, I think there's three horses that caught my eye. She's a joker. Pete coming back off the layoff is always going to be tough, shortening up a Practical Joke. So that horse should be pretty live. And then on the outside, Big Shamrock, I think will run a good race. But at the end of the day, I came back to Doris May. Dick Barton is on fire right now, his stable, as he's partnered with Carla. And then you get, arguably the best jockey on the grounds right now by far and away in Juan Hernandez. So I just think the horse also has class, the races it's coming out of. So I expect a big race out of that horse and should be able to easily put these horses away if he runs his race.
Kenny, you mentioned Richard Dick Barton. It is good to see the success he's had, because he certainly has embraced and endorsed and supported Calbreds, and obviously he has a big farm. He's invested a lot of money. It's good to see the success that he's had.
Yeah, Dick's a wonderful man, and he has invested, as you said, Tom, a significant amount into this game, both his own wealth, but also his time and his family's time, Kate and his wife and everybody else. And it's great to see them having a lot of success. Last weekend they had a good day, and they're starting to win up and down the coast. So that's fantastic. And couldn't happen to a better guy. 3
back, Doris May broke this condition sprinting on the turf course. That's why she's eligible to do the same thing on the main track. And you can see last time out, she ran against Alice Marble, had the lead basically at the top of the lane. Once again, Alice Marble probably would be 1-9 in this particular race if she was entered. Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5, again sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course. Main special weight, fillies and mares, a good field of 10. This is one of the more wide open races. Number 3, Spain Moonlight, the invader from overseas for Phil D'Amato, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Last time out finished a good second, but it was on the poly track. It wasn't on the turf course, but she did run against the boys in her debut, finishing third that particular day. A lot of different ways you can go here, Kenny. Which way you going?
Yeah, I'm going to the outside with Sweet Trouble. I just think that horse going to the grass, getting some class relief in the sense of it's run grade 3s. It's going to be fit, prime, ready to go. And again, you get Rispoli, outside draw. I think it sets up well. I think Spain Moonlight will run a strong race. D'Amato is very good on this angle. Usually I tend to believe the the French races, even at Devoe and Chantilly, are a little bit weaker than the races in the United Kingdom and Ireland. And then Irish Rose for Neil Drysdale, I think should run a bang up race. Good works, second time out for a trainer that, is notably patient with his horses. So, but at the end of the day, I just think that, Sweet Trouble, and I know Joey Platts and the ownership group's been really high on this horse for a while. And so maybe turf will be, and a little bit of shortening up will be the answer here.
10-3 in race number 5. So says our seminar guest, Ken Shaw. Question for you, Ken. You mentioned the tracks in France. We know that you've gone racing in Australia. Have you gone racing overseas in Europe, and specifically either France or Ireland?
I have not.
Wow.
It's on my bucket list. Just whenever I was over there, I too busy with work, right? Yeah. And so getting to Ascot and some of the other notable places is certainly something I was planning on doing. COVID kind of got in the way when I retired, so maybe in the next year or two, we'll be able to get over.
Some pedigree notes in race number 5 for some of the runners we were talking about. Kenny's second choice, number 3, Spain Moonlight, is a half to Syntax. You might remember, if you have a good memory, Syntax was also trained by Phil D'Amato. She earned $390,000 in her career. So certainly the breeding is there for Spain Moonlight to be a good one. Speaking of good ones, number 7, Magic Light, is a half to Battle of Midway, who won the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. First time here in Southern California for trainer Neil Drysdale. And on the bottom, Kenny's top pick, number 10, Sweet Trouble. The Dam, chocolate coated, actually won down the hill here at Santa Anita. So there is some turf pedigree here. And as Kenny mentioned, being a daughter of Into Mischief and spending $600,000 on her, certainly expectations are high. Maybe turf is in her future. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're sprinting 5.5 furlongs in the main track. This is for 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and up, which have never won 2 races, for a $12,500 claiming tag. Scratch the 1 leaves us with a field of 7. Morning line favorite number 6, Honeymoon Suite, fresh off a victory in the maiden claiming ranks while we were in Las Vegas. Back-to-back victories for Honeymoon Suite. Are you looking elsewhere, Ken?
No, I'm going with Honeymoon Suites. Connections. Mullins and Hector Barrios, they've just been, when they're together, they're just on fire, and the horse is coming in good form. I think it's a competitive race, though, so I would not be surprised of a number of horses win this race, but I just like the form coming in, the connections, pretty much all systems going forward.
And number 2, Olympic Legend in race number 6. You can see the jockey-trainer combination of John Sadler and Emily Ellingwood. If you have the daily racing form in front of you, they've certainly been a potent combination. They've clicked at a 46% win clip with 13 attempts over the last couple of years. And I can tell you, if you go to xbtv.com, absolutely free of charge, and view some of the workouts for number 2, Olympic Legend, it sure looks like he's doing well for a $12,500 claimer. Race number 7, once again, sprinting on the turf course. Of course, the weather conditions here are ideal, fast and firm for both the main track and the turf, and we're sprinting 6 furlongs for maiden special weight, Calbred, fillies and mares. 1 scratch the 11 C-. The morning line favorite, number 7, Isabel Ludlow, adding blinkers for trainer Steve Miotti, is 7-2. But the one we want to talk about, Kenny, is number 2, Tap In 9, the homebred that you and your buddies decided to breed. She's making her debut as a 4-year-old. She's been working exclusively at San Luis Rey. Before we get your thoughts on the race, how'd you guys come up with the name Tap In 9?
Oh, great question. So a couple of years ago, we're playing golf down at Del Mar. I think we're playing at Del Mar Country Club. Ernie Marchowski, one of the owners, myself, Tom Lute, and one other gentleman. And Ernie's struggling a little bit that day. He didn't have
his golf game, or just with life?
We'll just say with his golf game.
Okay,
Ernie didn't bring his A game that day.
Okay, he tends to forget things, right?
Yeah,
he's a forgetful guy.
He forgets a lot of stuff. So I think we're on a par 5, and Tom and I, third shots, we're up on the green, right off the green, and Ernie's playing Army golf, left, right, chunk, chili dip, and we're waiting, and he hits a wedge up, probably 70, 75 yards out, darn near puts it in the hole, hits a dart, it is 2 inches away. We're like, wow, Ernie, what's that for? He turns to us and says, Tap In 9. So we said, and we start laughing, and we said, that's a perfect name for a horse. So that's how she got the name.
And lo and behold, you actually ran the Dam as well. She was an 0-for-6 maiden. She just missed coming down the hill. She lost by a head or a nose, I believe. So certainly that was a tough beat, but this is her second foal.
Yeah, this is actually this is her first foal.
Okay.
And the second foal has run twice. And we just ran him up north, going a mile on the synthetic, and he really green, came running late, got beat on the wire. So we're pretty excited about stretching him out like we did. And he's, as Edward Freeman says, our trainer, when people talk about a horse being 17 hands, This horse is way bigger than 17 hands.
Wow.
He's a monster. The dam was a monster. She was very, very large. This one's more, quote, normal size. So she's just had a bunch of little things that we've had to, set back, but she's doing well now. We're hopeful. You got to take a shot somewhere. So here's our shot.
15-1. I know you're going to put her on top, not only for sentimental reasons, but I think you like the way she's been working at San Luis Rey.
Yeah, she's moving well. And, there's nothing that says we shouldn't take a shot. And, when I look at the race, from a handicapping perspective, there's nothing that stands out where you would say, oh my goodness, there's no chance we can beat this horse or that horse. This is an even race. And so, I think first-time starters have every chance to get there.
Well, good luck with Tap In 9 in race number 7. Is the rest of the ownership crew going to be here?
Ernie will be here. Bob Trainer will not be able to make it. He's down in Oceanside. Since he scratched earlier, and he'll be rooting us on from afar. And I think Bobby's on watching right now.
Well, we'll be rooting for you, certainly in Eddie Logan, that's for sure. Race number 8 begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4. As you heard Frank Miramati discuss during the scratch, his largest Golden Hour Pick 4 pool was last Sunday. Thanks to each and every one of you for your wagering and supporting. We kick today's Golden Hour Pick 4 off in race number 8, sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 2 other than another good field of 6 here. A lot of different ways you can go. Number 3, Howbeit, who's in for the 100-dime tag, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Which direction you headed, Kenny?
I'm going with Sunrise Journey, and I'm playing the angle of Edwin Maldonado, lone speed in the race, controlling, and I just think the horse, assuming he doesn't bounce, but indications are 6 for 14 at this distance,
14 for 43 lifetime. He's a racehorse.
He's a racehorse. These are the horses as an owner you love, because all they do is run and collect checks.
$328,000 in his career. He's earned it the hard way, that's for sure.
Earned it the hard way, right? And so these are the ones you love. I just, this is a race of, it's a tough race, a lot of really good horses for a small field, but it's kind of, void of speed. Colt Fiction, maybe the 4-horse, coming off the layoff, B+ work, has shown speed in the past, but tends to kind of sit off it, howbeit. So I'm playing the angle that, Edwin Maldonado is going to get the lead and be able to rate the horse and get there. And, that last race is pretty impressive, and 2 races back as well. So I think the horse will be competitive. If, Aguilar has Howbeit up close near the lead, that might be a different story.
Howbeit, you can see, was bred by the University of Kentucky, and he's earned $390,000 in his 28 race career. Take a look at who he lost to last time, Spirit of Makina, who's turned into a tiger of a sprinter for George Papapadromo. And also, it's a little bit subtle. Howbeit also re-adds Lasix, and if you look through his running lines, you can see Howbeit usually wins or runs very well whenever he has Lasix. That's going to be the case today now that he's out of graded stakes races. Race number 9 closes out the day, but of course it doesn't close out the week, because tomorrow we've got a 12-race card on Run Happy San Anita Derby Day. First post tomorrow will be noon Pacific. The races are tremendous. If you haven't looked at it, you better start, because the handicapping is going to take you quite some time. But we close out Friday's card here with the $5 Golden Hour Daily Double. Similar concept. Last race here with the last race at Golden Gate. And we're going 1 mile on the turf course for Calbred. Allowance optional claiming types. Non-winners of 1 other than. 2 scratches. Scratch the 3 and also program scratch of the 5, Catalina Eddy. Also take note, number 10, Mischievous Path, is a first-time gelding. There's 3 runners exiting the race back on March 18th, the 11th race, I should say, on March 18th. Those 3 runners are number 4, Atomic Drop, number 9, Mamba Cool, and also number 11, Shortman. We're going to watch the replay of that race. The runner I want you to pay attention to is Mamba Cool. In this replay we're going to watch, he's going to break from post position number 8. He's going to be in the white blinker, so he's going to be easy to find. I think he had a lot of trouble under Umberto Rispolu, who fits this horse very well. So let's watch the replay of the 11th race on March 18th that those 3 runners exit.
And they're off. Very fast beginning, as usual, for Moose Mitchell, who vies for the lead. Whose Candy is sprinting pretty quickly. Atomic Drop is on the far outside. Ooh Babe is 4th, just 3 lengths off the pace, followed by Franklin 1 Star, inside Minister Shane. Then Mamba Cool with 6 lengths to make up, racing 2 in front of Leia's Candy, and Shortman is the distant trailer. Down the hill, and it's Whose Candy showing the way. Leads by 1.5 lengths. Atomic Drop is in 2nd. Franklin 1-Star races in third, and Moose Mitchell fourth, 3 lengths off the lead. Then Ooh Babe racing on the outside of Minister Shane, 2 lengths clear of Mamba Cool, Leia's Candy, and Short Man. They're coming toward the quarter pole. Who's Candy? Atomic Drop moves to challenge in second. Who's Candy shifting about as Atomic Drop pounces. Just in behind them, Franklin 1-Star on the inside. Moose Mitchell is very much in it. Extreme outside. Ooh Babe with some late interest and dangerous interest too. Final 16th, Atomic Drop. Here's Leia's Candy threading through traffic, diving down toward the rail. In between horses, Minister Shane, a driving finish. Even Ooh Babe. Here's the line. Minister Shane wins it all.
Kenny, a lot of action to evaluate in that replay. We saw Atomic Drop basically take the lead at the top of the stretch, but then fade. Short Man was dead last, turning for home, and actually made a rally wide move. And number 9, Mamba Cool, in between horses there with the white blinkers, might have been best. This is a really good betting race to end the card. How'd you see it?
Yeah, I think it's at the end of the day, it will cap a good day for Rispoli on the turf. Another very favorable draw, very favorable setup, lots of speed inside. So I think, even with the defection of the 3-horse out of the race, I just think he's going to get the perfect trip. And the horse that I like as a long shot is Sunshine Babe with Kent DeSormo up. I think that horse also is probably going to be tracking Rispoli. Mo will do that. And whoever gets first jump, I think has a legitimate shot to win this race. But I like Mamba Cool. I just think that he's going to do very well in this race. And, and the other one that I actually like is on the outside, Short Man, the 11 horse. So if you can string together a 7, 9, 11 trifecta or some other combination, there might be some value in this race, but it's always a little bit tough to take those outside horses in a 1-mile race at Santa Anita on that short turn.
There's always value when you're playing turf races here at the Great Race Place. Kenny, thanks so much for your time and insight today. Always a delight to have you on the seminar. Continued success, not only with your runner today, but also the betting windows as well. And you and I will compare notes on the Australia races later tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Next voice you hear will be track announcer Frank Miramati, updating us with any late program changes. Tomorrow, seminar starts early, 10:50 a.m. Pacific time. We've got a really good guest. Make sure you tune in.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Here are the changes. The first race begins the early pick 5, scratch number 4, Baby Kristen. Rail on the turf today is out 20 feet. In the second, scratch number 5, Riverside. No super high 5 wagering in race 2. In the third, we have the program scratch of number 1, Midnight Vow. In the fourth race, start of the Rainbow 6, scratch 2, Love You Mean It. There's no super high 5 wagering, but we do have a nice carryover in the Rainbow Pick 6 of $362,000 for the single ticket winner. Keep in mind, tomorrow there's a mandatory payout in this pool. Race 5 today. Happy birthday to the Retro Skells Show. Overweights, 8 and 9, each carry 2 pounds over. In the 6, scratch 1, Silent Sunday. Overweight 7, Lampy, 2 pounds over. In the 7th event, number 7, Isabel Ludlow, 2 over. 9, Big Update, 2 pounds over. Scratch number 11, C minus. The 8th race today is the Petros and Money Derby. Start of the Golden Hour pick 4.